And Lars, oh, there's not, oh, you know what? We'll get you guys up here in a second. I apologize. I remember what I said about butts and seats. I need to remember. So, I think that microphone is on over there. I will try and field some of the live stream questions. I'm not sure where the camera is.
Test, check.
Probably doesn't matter. It's there. Yes. The live stream questions, but I also have some questions here. I started a thread on the gear page, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Told people what we were doing and said, what do you want to know? Many of these questions are questions we've been asked millions of times and answered millions of times. But it's possible there's somebody watching right now who has never heard that answer once. So pretend like it's your first. We'll start at the top, and every question is directed kind of at everybody until I say Louis TK. I'm just kidding. I won't say that. I'm just messing with you.
It's all good, man.
Until I direct it at somebody. The first one comes from, this is a great name. His name is Fender Bigot. These are handles on the gear page, by the way. And maybe I should have proofread that part. He wants to know how about the first thing you guys do when you open a box before the camera rolls. And this would be directed at demo dudes. And we'll just start this way and keep going. First thing you do when you open the box before you hit record. Well, you know, between opening the box and hitting record. And go.
Oh, me? Okay. As a general rule, yeah, I want to play it for at least 45 minutes and just get lost. And yeah, it's never really just put the pedal, plug it in, and hit record, because I need more time to figure out what it's going to do. And then that's kind of where I listen to the pedal, and because I'm the pedal whisperer. And
yes, you are.
I listen to what it wants to do. That's basically it for me. So.
I'm similar. I plug the thing in and I let the sound that it makes kind of direct, hopefully a riff or, you know, like some kind of feeling that, you know, so that you kind of let the tone like steer the piece of music, because you and I are similar in that we come up with the music that I think is kind of unique for each pedal. Yeah. So, which I really like what you do, by the way, how you do that. So we were talking a little bit about that today in the videos that we made. But yeah, you just let the pedal kind of steer the tone, takes you down a path, and you come up with some riff or part or something that hopefully is you wouldn't have come up with if it weren't for that thing that you're playing through. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's going to be the same thing with all of us. But the thing is, whether you write a complete song with a backing track, or you're just going for some licks, you know, that kind of fit and help people get the idea what that piece of gear will do. So I am very keen on selecting the right guitar. Like if it's a single coil pickup that fits better, if it's a fuzz, I tend to like, you know, something like a tele. If it's, you know, a delay, I kind of, you know, search for the vibe and get the proper gear. I mean, the amp is, you know, you can be choosy with that as well. But I think the guitar and the rest of the pedals, if you do like a sort of a setup, you know, demo, which we kind of enjoy doing, like how does that drive work with, I don't know, a modulation effect, or like 2 guitars if it's necessary. So you kind of select gear together to make a perfect match, and try to make it as good as possible, because I think every pedal maker, you know, has the right to yeah, they wanted to make it as good as it gets. You know, it was their intention to make the best pedal what we can. So you better respect it and try to give it a chance.
So unlike these talented individuals over here, and I mean that in all sincerity, you guys have amazing demos. I don't do any of that. I actually open the box, usually while we're live, and try to just give the, you know, the, what is it, you know, what is the impression, right? The actual unboxing experience.
I love that.
And what did he say?
Excuse me. He said, I like that.
There you go. And a lot of times on a live show, I'll hook it up for the first time on a live show.
That's awesome.
So it's just a little different. Again, your demos, both of you, by the way, I'm a fan. Tremendous.
Ditto.
My angle's a little bit different. I just want for them to experience, them, the viewer, to experience what I'm experiencing. What's in the box? Is it hard to plug in? Is it hard to get a good tone out of the gate without a lot of to-do? And that's really kind of what I enjoy. I've always stayed true to the mantra of, if you're a dude walking, or a dudette, walking into a guitar store and you plugged in, my goal is to give you that type of experience, that plug it in and let's go experience without the prep. So just a little different angle.
Me too. Birds of a feather.
There you go.
Plus, then we don't have to prepare for anything. Truth.
I'm big on the prep work. I will spend a good amount of time tailoring my playing to the pedal and seeing what sounds unique about the pedal and trying to capitalize on that and show that off. And often I'll even play a riff where I feel like it will touch on those timbres or characteristics of the pedal, play it into a loop pedal, and then just use both hands just to tweak it and see if I can dial it in even more finely and come up with a number of riffs that I feel like do that, and then layer or just do single riffs and go from there.
Excellent. Next question comes from Jim Marciano. Still waiting. I don't know if the live chat is actually happening on the computer here, but good thing I brought these. Next question, Jim Marciano. Can you guys discuss the pedals that stay on or always end up back on your board? Then maybe your favorite fuzz, overdrive, delay pedal, and what are you currently considering, gassing about, or excited about? Okay, that is too long of a question. But let's take the first half. Discuss pedals. I think a good topic is that always end up back on your board, meaning you've replaced them maybe with a flavor of the month, or, we all fall for certain pedals every once in a while. Like, I'm doing a string of gigs, and I want to use this pedal a bunch. And then it goes away, and the pedal that you put back there, that one, the old standby that just always has to come on back. And go.
Yeah, I have a pedal that is probably one of my first. It's the old Marshall Bluesbreaker from the 90s. And
Black one? Or
yeah, the bigger kind of built like a tank one. And that just always worked with whatever amp I had. I think that's why it always comes back. And it's, it's proved its worth, I think, over the years. And there was a lot of awesome overdrives, probably even better than this pedal. But I don't know. I think a lot of it is, since I kind of grew up with it and I learned to play, I think people, we get sentimental with gear, obviously. And that one's just kind of come back, and it doesn't have a lot of gain, but I've kind of, put my sweat and spilled stuff all over it. And so, yeah, I'm not getting rid of that one.
Those are great, the old ones.
Yeah.
I like the old Drive Master too,
Yeah,
and the Governor.
Yeah.
That was a great pedal, Marshall Governor. They were good. I guess for me, the last few, I gotta have a compressor, so it's some kind of compressor because I love that for clean sounds. I've been using Klon style drives for years for my lead boost, so I always gotta have that, which has been a Rocket Archer of some variation over the last few years. I like the Tumnus too from the Wampler, but I've just been using the Archer for a long time, so I would have to have that, and then a delay of some sort. And I used the good old Strymon Timeline for like 7 years. I recently switched to a DD500, but they're both really good. But I gotta have a cool delay, a cool compressor, and a drive, and those are the primary pedals on my board that see the most use and that I just need to do the gigs.
I guess this sounds kind of conservative, but it's got to be exactly the same stuff. Like, yeah. I tried to replace my Archer so many times, not because I didn't like it, I just wanted to have something fresh, Right. Like, put back on a good old, TS-808. I loved it, but I kind of felt that it reacts differently to other gain pedals, what I always stack. And it's like, it's going to be the Archer again. And delay-wise, that's why I thought it's going to be the same as you, because it's my, funny enough, Source Audio Nemesis.
Oh, really?
Ever since it came out, I I fell in love. I wanted to put on something smaller. Tried it, was good, nah, but not good enough, and then I just went back.
Jeff's here from Source Audio.
Yeah, I've told the story already. We were talking. Where are you? Jeff?
I got to tell you something.
Awesome pedal. Thank you. Thank you.
I got to tell you something really quick. Just an aside to that. You know how you're always trying to change your drive to get a better drive, a better drive? We came up with a great, so there's a phrase in Japanese, it's toriaizu. And I want to make the toriaizu drive because what that means is, it's good for now. The good for now pedal, right? Because we're always like trying to change drives and come up with it. So this one will work for the next month at least until I trade it out and then I change it back, you know.
But then it has to be a sticker, which you always put on the drive you're using currently.
Yeah, the toriaizu, good for it. Yeah, that's true too. You could do that.
So for me, I always go back to just having a straight up overdrive. Even on a dirty amp, I like a high gain amp. But that could, even a good high gain amp could sound a little dry. So there's two things I always go to. Front ending that with a little dirt. And that's usually a super overdrive or a tube screamer style. My most recent one, it's funny, Pete, that you had mentioned, you're always looking for the next overdrive. The last one that I've tried, which I was blown away, was the Oxblood, the Keeley Oxblood, which I guess is like a clown style. I think so. It's got a little bit more meat to it if you want it to be there. So it's a little, probably more versatile than a standard clown style. And then I always want a little reverb and a little delay in the loop or at the end of, you know, the gain circuit. And, you know, I've learned that there are a few companies out there that will consolidate those two. And the big one I've been using probably more recently since last GitCon is the Caverns, Keeley Caverns, which gives you really good reverb and delay in a single pedal. And that's a big lifesaver, because I always used to use two pedals. Now you just have one, which is kind of nice. And there's a couple of companies out there that make that. And I do want to answer the gas question, because we all want certain things. And something I never had growing up that I always wanted was a Boss HM2, a heavy metal pedal. And I was one of those guys that spent about $200 for a Boss HM2. I gassed for it and I got it. And let me tell you, it does more than the Swedish death metal sound. It actually is a badass pedal. So there it is.
Agreed.
I paid about $186. Wow. Yeah. In fact, I paid exactly $186.
That's highway robbery.
As a bass player, it's easy to keep it simple. The pedal that I keep coming back to is the Ampeg SCRDI. The lows are nice and rumbly, and the highs are there, but it's all about the lows for us.
Bass players don't use pedals, do they?
Well, it looks kind of like a pedal.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you said DI, so do you use that in lieu of an amp sometimes?
I do.
There it is.
Oh, see, like I said, bass players don't use
Taking
pedals.
care of my fellow bass player over here.
Which brings us to the next question from Jerry. He wants to know, favorite pedal platform amp? I'm sure we all have our favorites. Deluxe Reverb, of course, is most popular. I don't use it. I use Dr. Z 210, kind of ACE 30 sounding sort of thing, which is generally not a great pedal platform amp, but I use it live and I use pedals live, so it works for me. I like the sound.